What is that thing you're doing?
It's technical. It's when we're a little tired. Something is different.
Good.
Anything different is good.
Go ahead. Your bus is leaving.
Backhouse man. I'm a scientist.
What's always a question of good? You always think about the bad.
I just have a feeling that something is wrong.
Good things do happen.
Make it Centauri time.
Hello and welcome to episode 18 of Groundhog Jungle. My name is Alex Hillman.
And I'm Matthew Fleming.
And today we are discussing the film Quick Change.
Alex, what's that?
I don't know, what is it?
We're in the 1990s.
Ah, so we are.
Yeah, I'm going to do that for every time we go into a new decade.
Excellent.
I did it with the 80s.
I should look
Interestingly,
forward to it when we watch Charlie's Angels or whatever it is. It's the first...
close. Hamlet.
Is it?
So here are the first films of each decade, which I think is interesting.
Oh,
So I wrote
you
them down
actually
today. Where the Buffalo Roam was the first film of the 80s.
Yes.
Quick Change is the first film of the 90s. Hamlet is the first film of the 2000s.
The noughties.
The noughties, yeah.
Yeah.
And the tens, like we might call them, it's Passion Play.
Is it? I didn't realise Passion Play was that old, actually.
Yeah, so 8 years old now. So I think what we have with like the beginning of a decade, he tends to do obscure one that some people sort of know and have vaguely heard about, but it's not intentional. Obviously, it's just a release date.
to make that joke. I'm sure he's doing that on purpose.
And
Yeah,
our
it's not
first
funny
film
now
of
that you've said it.
our first film of the
Right.
2020s
Yeah.
is probably going to be what is
Boo.
what is tantalisingly called Untitled Wes Anderson Project.
Yes.
On
Knowing Wes Anderson, that might end up being the name.
that could well be the name.
I'm going to the cinema to watch Untitled Wes Anderson Project. On
Yeah.
the cinema stub, it would say Untit.
It might do. Yeah, although it might annoyingly just include the L. We could Tipex that out.
Untittle.
Untitled. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be.
That's
But
sort of a bad review, isn't it? I'm untitled by this.
yes.
So Quick Change.
Yeah.
Your
but
dad
before we
likes this
talk
film.
about, he
Okay.
does like this film. Before we talk about this, no, I'll
confession?
mention that at the end.
Oh, okay,
Because
you're
they don't
gonna
want to
say
hear
it at
that.
the end.
Yeah. So I'll let you decide, dear listener, what I was going to say then.
Yeah.
I suppose you've got a choice of anything, really.
Yeah.
So, Quick Change. So I first watched Quick Change in the late 90s because my dad thought it would be a nice film for me to watch. He enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it too. It is Bill Murray's one and only directorial credit.
Yeah.
And he does it with Howard Franklin.
Yes.
And it is very good, and he is very good in it. And it is a crime caper in which he plays a robber with many memorable scenes, including him dressing up as a clown
Yeah.
towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning, the very first
Yes.
scene, isn't it?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
see him as, I was going to say as a human. Clowns are obviously human. You don't see him without makeup. You see him as a clown.
Unless
and then
they're
he's,
in it.
Yeah.
And then they're a manifestation of your greatest fears,
Yeah.
including spiders. Although they don't explore that in the film.
No, the film and possibly the miniseries doesn't explore the wide range of things that happen in the book because it's 1,116 pages.
Yes, although the film is only half the book, isn't it?
Yeah, this first. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But it doesn't include
not
the
the exact half because the book sort of
orgy.
flips between.
Yeah.
It doesn't include the child sex orgy,
No.
which possibly is for the best.
Yeah,
Definitely is for the best.
I don't think anyone could ever adapt it and include that, could they?
No, I don't know. Did the miniseries? I can't remember.
No.
No. Well, that's good. Do you know this is also Quick Change is based on a book?
Yes, is
I
it?
didn't know that. Oh,
No,
yeah,
I didn't.
apparently. Well, if you look it up on IMDb, it's credited to the Howard Franklin wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
And then some other guy, I can't remember his name, is credited for writing the book. So I'm assuming that doesn't mean in a sort of book musical, like the book writer.
Yes.
I'm assuming it means he wrote the book which it's based on.
Yes,
Because
although-
if you look up Hamlet, it says play William Shakespeare, adapter, whoever.
Yeah, sometimes though they say story by, don't they? And I think
Yeah.
sometimes people write a story specifically for it to be adapted.
They
for
do.
film.
That happens a lot for TV, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they write a story and then it just gets adapted. I don't think the story's ever necessarily published.
No.
I think they just pick up the story and base
It's like
a
a
screenplay
treatment,
on
isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting.
And this isn't a bad treatment, but I suppose the treatment is people rob a bank dressed as a clown, and I think Gina Davis's character is maybe sort of is she pretending to be one of the prisoners or something? I think, or is she pretending to be one of the
absolutely,
and
as is I think Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid,
isn't he?
yeah.
And then they turn out to both be accomplices in on the heist. And
then they sort of get trapped, don't they, by Jason
Yeah.
Robards, who's the
who's a classic actor.
Yeah.
but as is in this
possibly
film.
even Oscar. He was a pointless answer the other day in cast of All the President's Men.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a
I
really
think so,
he's
yeah,
really
that's
respected actor, but
Yeah.
This was late on in his career.
This was in the middle. I mean, he then. There was a big film he had in '93. I think I was looking him up today. I think he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, possibly. He's been in lots of stuff.
You know that film about cheese spread.
Yes. Well, tainted with AIDS.
Yeah, that's a really offensive thing for me to say, isn't it? That it's just about cheese bread when it's
It's
about a
definitely
guy dying.
Of AIDS.
Yeah.
Horribly.
Yeah,
Other films that involve people dying of AIDS
include.
Now its name escapes me, but there's a film with Ewan McGregor and Jim Carrey in it.
Oh,
I Love
yeah.
You, Philip Morris.
Philip Morris, yeah.
Which is I remember taking a girl on a date to see that film, thinking it to be a knockabout Jim Carrey film. It definitely isn't. It involves quite a lot of explicit buggery and some very dodgy content directed towards AIDS. I mean, at one scene, Jim Carrey pretends to have AIDS and acts as if he's dying of AIDS and then doesn't.
Right.
It's quite a difficult film.
You've reminded me. There's a Jim Carrey mini-series starting on TV this week that I want to tape. So I'm going to do that after this.
Excellent.
He plays a retired puppet master or something ridiculous. It sounds fun, doesn't it?
What's happened to Jim? Jim Carrey's now got depression. Well, I don't know, but it is rumoured that he has depression.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
now he's
that's-
just painting, isn't he? And stuff.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Yeah,
Like,
well, he's still acting and doing some stuff. He seems...
Is he?
Well, he's acting in that.
In what?
The puppet master
Oh,
thing. I don't know
right.
what
Oh,
it's
is that
called.
recent?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
Nico
good.
Gondry, who directed Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes, and
he's
Be
directing
Kind,
some
Rewind,
episodes.
I think.
Yeah,
didn't he?
which
Yeah.
isn't as good.
No, it's not good at all, is it?
Well,
Again, another film I was
went to see
disappointed
that
by.
in cinema.
Yeah, but it was already dated before it was made.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was about videos. So.
Yes, so it had that again. I mean, I know that that's the premise of the film.
Yeah.
But it still didn't work.
Look, it didn't matter that we couldn't remember much about Quick Change because
We can remember lots about other films instead.
Look, Quick Change though. Quick Change is.
You can remember.
I can remember some
memory is
things,
far better
but
than
then
mine.
you've seen this
What's
more
wrong
times
with
than
my
me. No,
memory?
nothing's
Have I
wrong
got
with your
early
memory.
onset Alzheimer's?
No, you haven't got early onset.
Well, then why can I never
Alzheimer's.
remember any of these fucking films?
You can remember this. So, Gina Davis is in this. You remember this
Yes.
because in the review you have a picture of her holding money to her breast, and underneath you say, "I would."
Oh, that's embarrassing.
But it's hilarious every time I read it. It's very funny.
But I wouldn't put that now.
No, Gina Davis is sexy in this.
She is.
It's not her first Bill Murray film.
No.
But I was surprised by this. And I found out the other day in a Radio Times review of a different film. She's been in a previous... You could sort of work it out if you think about... Well, just if you think about things.
Okay. It's not. It's not the Grenade. It's not.
No.
It's in the list.
Yes, we've already seen it.
and discussed it.
Yeah.
And have mentioned her, maybe.
No, because we forgot she was in it.
Oh, do tell.
I'm not sure if I even know she was in it. She's in Tootsie. She's
Right.
apparently Dustin Hoffman's roommate in it, although I do not remember that. Because
No.
I thought he shared the apartment with Bill Murray.
But apparently he doesn't.
Maybe not. She can't have a prominent role in it. But if you think about it, it makes sense because Jeff Goldblum's also in that film, and they ended up getting married at some point. So maybe that's when they met.
Yes.
So I don't know. But anyway, we've seen her. This is her second. That was her big break. Sidney Pollack, who directed the film, asked to see a bikini shot of her, but she didn't sort of have one available, so she had to make one up. Which, you think about it, it's a really creepy thing to do because we
Yes.
can't even remember in the film. She doesn't have a prominent role,
No.
and he's going, "Can I have a bikini shot of you, please?"
That is creepy.
It is, isn't
and
it?
it wouldn't happen anymore, I don't think.
No,
Yeah.
no, it didn't
But-
happen to us when we were casting Vera Drake.
No. And it certainly didn't happen to us when we were cast in The Eighth Square.
No, Vera Drake is one
Although
of my
I suppose
favourite
you
movies.
cast yourself in it, really.
Yeah, no, it's terrible, isn't it? I did. Well, who else does that?
Ben.
Yeah. So, quick change. Gina Davis is in it. Randy Quaid, the first of two. Randy
Quaids.
Quaid. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. The first of two Randy Quaid, Bill Murray films.
Brother of Dennis Quaid. Now, imagine you're Randy Quaid, right?
Yeah.
And your brother
It's Dennis Quaid.
is Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
And he's in loads and loads of blockbuster films.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning films.
Yeah.
And is generally respected in them as a pretty good leading man, and is also very good looking.
Yeah.
Now, I'd feel a bit low because Randy Quaid, I love Randy Quaid.
He is
He's
good.
brilliant in
Gives
Not
good value.
Another Teen Movie and
Yeah.
Independence Day, both as mentals. But he's definitely not good looking.
No. But
It's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Maybe. He's made a
He
good
saves the
living.
world in Independence Day.
He's made a good
That's
living
bit
out
of
of
a
it,
spoiler,
though, hasn't
isn't
he?
it?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I think it would be a bit of a spoiler if it was the second Independence Day movie, although I don't imagine many people have seen that.
I have, and you don't need to spoil the second Independence Day movie because it spoils itself.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
A film that neatly spoils itself just by existing.
It is awful. It's really bad and
Is
very
it?
disappointing. And I speak as someone who loves the original Independence Day. It's one of my favourite ever films.
It's a shame, isn't it?
It is really
but
sad.
Randy Quaid isn't in that.
No, well, he couldn't be.
Does he die?
Have you not seen the first one?
Ages ago.
Oh, he is the one that sacrifices himself in order to finally destroy the ship.
Yeah, there's brief
'Cause
snatches of the film I remember.
They're drawing their main weapon
Yeah.
together, and it's going, and he's like, sorry I was late, Mr. President, and he's like, take this, you aliens, up your. Well, then he dies, and then everyone in the ship.
I think I watched it about more than half my life ago now.
Okay.
So, like when I was 14.
I love it.
Yeah,
it.
it
I
was
went to see it
good.
in the cinema.
But I watched it on video when you had that little reflexive cover thing,
Yes.
that little hologram. I was way more interested in that. Not that I didn't like the film. The film was good, but I just kept looking at it. That was great to me.
It occurs to me that you and I, despite doing this, have wildly quite different tastes in film, I think.
I think we feel the same about this one, which is that it's good.
But difficult to talk about, apparently.
Well, no, not so much. Look, it's funny, but it's not hilarious. I've looked up some
Yeah.
user reviews for this today, and that's pretty much what people say. People say, I like watching this every now and again, but it's not a classic. Bill Murray gives good value. They all give good value. It's a caper, but it's not
Yeah.
memorable, is it?
No,
massively.
not particularly. And I think I make the point in the review that Bill Murray is very restrained in his performance. So actually, for him, he's obviously focused on directing the film because he doesn't give much in his performance, and he's relatively unmemorable in it.
He's gearing up for, so, we've got sort of 3 big Bill Murray comedies,
Yes.
and this is followed by What About Bob, followed by Groundhog Day. They're getting better in quality as they go on, I would argue.
Yes. What's the other one?
Those 2.
You said 3, or is this one of them?
This is one of them, yeah.
Oh.
So this is good.
Yeah.
What About Bob is better.
Is good. Is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, great, some might say, but truly great is obviously Groundhog Day's
Yes. My
label.
Probably my favourite film of all time.
Yeah.
And there's that to look forward to.
Yeah, next week.
Passion
But
and enthusiasm.
this, I wrote down a list of people that appear in this film because there's lots. You remember Stanley Tucci
Yeah.
because you write about him in the review.
Yes. Can you remember what I say?
You say something about Beethoven.
Right.
Because
yes.
I didn't get what it
He's
was you
also
said.
in Beethoven.
Yeah, and you say something like, he gives good value in Beethoven. Then you say that's a joke, but it's not a joke I get.
When do I say that in this review?
Okay.
Right, let you talk and I'll find the
Okay,
review.
it will be the other side,
I will
I
be
think.
able to explain this.
Okay.
We've got the review here. Right, so can you... right. Right. Bill Murray would do the best job. And Stanley Tucci's in this scene as well. He's always good value, especially in Beethoven. That's a joke. Except it's not a joke.
I'm not sure if you're saying he's bad in Beethoven, because, I mean, he's generally good in most things, Stanley
Yeah.
Tucci. But
Maybe I put something else in here that I edited out and forgot to edit out. That's a joke. Because it's not a joke. Unless that is the joke. We're getting very meta now.
anyway, he's in this. It's the first film, I think, of his that I've heard of. Like, he was in a couple of minor films as, like, Gangster #1 and all these things.
Yeah.
But it's the first semi-big film that I've heard of. So it's very early in his career.
I think I'm suggesting that Beethoven's not to be taken seriously. Therefore, me comparing his performance in Beethoven as being worthy is the joke itself. But
Okay.
I wouldn't now say that.
No.
I've changed quite a lot probably since I wrote that review in terms of my personality.
And do you know what also has changed? The actors in this, they're all sort of like, I don't want to say in Genesis, but they're all pre-success.
They're in Genesis?
No. I wanted to say that like this was at the beginning of their careers. Obviously, Bill Murray had massive success with Ghostbusters and so forth.
He was a big cheese by this
He was a big cheese, but yet to be like Oscar nominated, which was going to happen later.
Yeah,
Stanley
yeah.
Tucci, of course, is Oscar nominated. Possibly has even won something, but he's lots of awards. Tony Shalhoub, Anthony Shalhoub, who went on to play Monk, has won loads of awards both on Broadway, I think, and for Monk and for lots of other things.
Yes, and was also in 13 Ghosts.
He was, where he improbably
Weirdly.
plays the dad of Shannon Elizabeth in a
There's
very
There's
unusual.
a scene in that where, do you remember is it a lawyer? There's a snide lawyer,
Yeah.
blonde and quite tall and young.
Yeah.
And I believe he gets sliced in two.
That's
but-
Matthew Lillard, isn't it?
No,
Oh, is it
no,
not?
he gets sliced, but
He
differently.
does, yeah.
But he gets sliced in two, but lengthways,
Lengthways, 'cause it
like
don't come
through
to,
the face, and then his face like slides down, and you see
Similar
the
thing
inside
happens
of
in
his face.
Resident Evil, isn't it? Colin Salmon?
Yes,
Is that
no,
right?
he gets diced by
Oh,
lasers.
diced.
Yes, and then falls into a gloopy pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, isn't it?
Colin Salmon.
Yeah.
There's a man who has been in Bond,
Yeah.
in Resident Evil, and Strictly Come Dancing.
Just like Anne Widdecombe.
Yeah.
So Tony Shalhoub is he's the least convincing father to Shannon Elizabeth. He's the most unconvincing.
Oh, we're not talking
parent.
about this film anymore.
Yeah,
are
no, we will. But he's the most unconvincing parent since.
Yeah.
What else was it?
He
I was
just doesn't
thinking
look
of?
related to Shannon Elizabeth, does he?
No. Well, I know what I was thinking about. I don't know if you've seen Neighbours recently.
No.
But Paul Robinson, you know Paul Robinson.
Yes.
He's got Japanese sons.
What? Are they adopted?
No, they're supposed to be his.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I know. Well, he had years ago had sex with a Japanese woman.
Yeah, but they're fully Japanese.
They're pretty much.
But he's
yeah.
Australian.
I mean, they don't even look like each other. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, no, they're Australian Japanese. You know what I mean? But it does. They're not.
Oh, okay, but they look Japanese.
Yeah, they don't look like him at all, or each other. It's silly. But that
It sounds very silly.
Yeah, but only as silly as Shannon Elizabeth being the daughter of Tony Shalhoub. Anyway,
Stephen Dennis.
other people that are in this.
That's the guy who
Stephen
plays.
Dennis.
Is that Paul Robinson?
Yes, well done.
Yeah.
People that are in this you may have forgotten. I had. Phil Hartman is in this.
I have forgotten.
Yeah, you've forgotten that. We mentioned Tony Shalhoub. I'm surprised by this. Well, I'm surprised you mentioned your review. I'm surprised I couldn't remember. Kurtwood Smith is in this. I don't know who he played. I just looked up the list today.
Sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh, but the idea of someone being incredulous at Kurtwood Smith appearing in something, I could have had 100 million guesses and I could never have guessed you'd have said that.
He's an
Kurtwood
actor, so
Smith
it's not surprising. But, Kurtwood Smith is a serious-looking guy. You don't imagine he goes, Bill Murray comedy, sign me on, do you?
No, but he was also in RoboCop.
Yeah, that's true.
And 24.
No, that's got like both have like socio-political commentary and stuff.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
There's none really in Quick Change other than how do you get rich by robbing a bank?
Here's a question. Why is it called Quick Change?
Because they're robbing a bank. So it's quick change. It's quick money. It's an easy way to make a buck. that
Right,
sort of
but
thing.
quick change also means something you do off stage when you're getting ready for a new
yeah, they're
scene.
not talking about that. Although maybe they are because they're all acting at the beginning in roles. So
Right, so do you reckon it's like a pun?
maybe
Or a double
could
meaning?
be? Yeah. It's a pun that, like, if they were going to keep that up, they could have kept up with lots of references towards acting and playing different roles, and they don't do that because it's just a comedy. They don't
Yeah.
put a lot of effort into it.
And it is just a comedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, there is no more depth to it.
No.
It doesn't take itself massively seriously. And I suppose if you're a first-time director, like Bill Murray was for this, you
One and
would
only time,
go for a film like this, wouldn't
Yeah.
you? Because it's quite easy to direct. It's like when me and Elliot directed A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
It's all like half of the play is in a courtroom.
Yeah.
So it's an easy thing to direct. You're just directing the acting.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about huge crowd scenes. Perfect sort of thing to direct. And a lot of the first half of the film is in the is it in a bank or
There's the bank, and then I think I remember they get pulled over by a cop, and you think they're going to get arrested, and there's a
Yeah.
bit of a twist there and something I think, or that breaks down, and they've got to go to the garage. I remember by the end, I think there's a scene on a plane. I remember that. I'm sure that there's a scene on a plane. And do they? This might maybe a spoiler. What it is? Do they maybe all get away with it in the end? I think.
I think probably, yeah.
Because it's one of those weird moral crime comedies where you're.
Well, it's like The Producers, isn't it?
Yeah.
The musical rather than the film, because I think in the film they go to prison and stay in prison,
Right,
don't they?
yeah.
Or end up or get out eventually. But in the musical, they definitely don't, and they go on to much more success.
Yeah.
And I think, but they're literally con artists.
Yeah. You can make more of a social commentary that way. I can't remember. Maybe this is a social commentary, but I really don't think it was. It's just light-hearted.
No.
It is a bit of fun, and actually, there's nothing in it you could be offended by, as
No.
far as I remember. It's an inoffensive film. There's something to be said for that. Actually.
Yeah, yes, there is. So you could sit down and watch it as a family, a bit like Jumanji.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was watching Jumanji again recently, and it struck me how when I went to see it initially in like 1995, I remember being blown away by the special effects, and they do not hold up now.
No.
At all.
It's
like,
totally
they're
different,
really
yeah.
bad now.
Yeah.
Like you look at them and they just look like someone has got Microsoft Paint painted some
And
monkeys
yeah, there's something
onto the scene.
lovable about that, isn't there? Have you seen the sequel?
No, apparently it's
good.
really good.
It
Isn't
is
it?
good,
yeah. In what way is it good? Because a lot of people have said, is it because it's just funny, or it has like adult jokes in it?
It is funny. There are definitely adult jokes in it. The cast are good
Yeah.
and get sort of what's going for.
So is it that they've all come together well and they get the tone of it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Okay, so I
yeah.
reckon I'd probably enjoy that.
I think you
then.
would enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. I must check it out. So it is a sequel then, and it's
Yeah.
like, and is it kind of the reverse that they go to the jungle, and they're the players, or no, they select avatars, don't they? And they're the avatars. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. You like it. It's better than this film. Although Quick Change, we can't. What did we give it? Oh, so you gave it 7.75.
Yeah.
I gave it 7.5, and that of course gives it an average of.
Is it 7.625?
It is, well done.
Yeah.
So
So that's 7 5/8, I think.
which is about where it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, our scoring system is mental. It's demented. There's no point in that, is there? It's ridiculous.
No,
Why
but-
not use fractions if we're going to do decimals like that? It's a stupid decimal system, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes,
My
it
fault.
is.
My fault. I think.
No,
I think
no.
I broke the.
Because you always thought
points.
it was me that broke it,
Yeah, I
didn't you?
don't
And
think
when
I
we
did.
were doing these
I think I
podcasts, you
did.
realised you were the first. But it doesn't matter. It would have been me if it wasn't you. Anyway, next time, it's What About Bob?
What about Bob?
What about him? Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.